So the lesson is taking place in this way. Thank God we are here on a special day, a holy day. And truly, what we are witnessing right now is the dawn of a remarkably secure, exceptionally stable, and absolutely certain day, a moment in time that promises to provide every one of us with a profound sense of lasting peace, total safety, and unwavering reliability for the entire journey that lies ahead of us in the future. Of the most holy and distinguished righteous people that have arisen for the people of Israel throughout all generations and who have been accepted by all communities, all circles and all groups, the holy Or HaChaim merited and was crowned with this crown and diadem. He is a soul that descends once every several decades and illuminates the darkness of exile for the children of Israel. It is well known that this day is a sacred day, a most significant day. A day on which righteous and holy people performed tremendous salvations and rescued the people of Israel from terrible and dreadful decrees, and these are connected. How much holiness there is at the grave of the holy Or HaChaim, how much power it holds. Whoever can and merits to reach the holy site, how much strength, how much power there is in this. Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz, one of the greatest disciples of the Baal Shem Tov and one of the greatest righteous men in the world of Chassidut, used to say that if the Holy One, blessed be He, would grant him the merit to reach the land of Israel, there is one thing he would do. He was great in Torah, and with devotion to every detail in the Torah, meticulousness and bringing merit to the public, and tremendous things that anyone who not only sees his Torah but also sees his life and what surrounded him, and the great students who came from him can tell and testify how great was the praise of the holy Or HaChaim. We know that the student closest to the holy Or HaChaim in the last year of his life, when the Or HaChaim was in the land of Israel, he was in the land of Israel for a little over a year, was the cheetah. The cheetah would go around. Maran, the cheetah, would go around. There is no doubt here. There is no argument that this was not the case. Let me see. To ascend, they would learn things from him, but nowhere does the cheetah mention that he was his student. The cheetah would not mention that the holy Or HaChaim was his rabbi. When the cheetah writes in his books that he was with the holy Or HaChaim, he says, I accompanied him, I was among his group, I was in his shadow. He does not write that he learned from him, that he explicitly received Torah from him, as the cheetah always writes about other righteous men from whom he learned and from whom he received Torah. So the first Admor of Skver would say, why? He says that because of the greatness because of the holiness and the awe-inspiring nature of the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, he could not write about himself that he was his student. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh is beyond all the conventions that exist in the world and beyond all the definitions that exist in the world. Rabbi, student, he is above and beyond all these things. That is the level of the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. It is known, there is a book that was printed, I think, about 200 years ago by a righteous man who came from Brisk to the land of Israel. His name was Rabbi Yehoshua Shov. Shov is an acronym for Shochei Ubodek, ritual slaughterer and inspector, which was his role. They stand on their feet. That's how it is. It's a custom in many places to stand, to keep the psalms of the welcoming of Shabbat, of Kabbalat Shabbat, standing during these psalms. Where did this custom come from? It's not the Amida prayer, nor Baruch Hu Uvaruch Shemo, nor other parts of the prayer where there is a clear age-old custom and an obligation to stand. So he writes that once the cheetah came to eat the third meal at the home of the holy Or HaChaim. He ate the third meal with him and was about to return to his own home. He left to go back home, and then the rain started and thunder began. It was a very difficult and heavy storm in Jerusalem, and the cheetah almost caught a chill, became very ill, knocked on the door of the holy Or HaChaim many times, but the Or HaChaim did not open for him. After the cheetah had already become exhausted and was outside, covered in tar, in a very unpleasant and bad state, the holy Or HaChaim opened for him and said, I couldn't open for you because I was studying with Elijah the prophet. I will make it up to you and tell you a custom from Elijah the prophet, he told me. This custom is that when this psalm is recited during Kabbalat Shabbat, many stand as part of the custom. Several things began with the holy Or HaChaim and spread and reached all corners of the world thanks to him. So today is a holy, awesome, and exalted day on which it is possible to achieve many things. This week we are reading Parashat Pinchas in the Torah. Already in the Thursday lesson, we expanded upon and explained things about Parashat Pinchas. We explained not a righteous person at work, we explained a small look at ignition, and we will bring them and settle them among the people of Israel. And then the Holy One, blessed be He, tested them with one last trial before entering the land of Israel, the trial of Baal Peor, where the people of Israel, because Balaam the wicked gave Balak advice on how to ensnare the people of Israel, fell into two of the gravest sins. The sin of idolatry, where they worshipped idols, and the second sin, the sin of forbidden sexual relations. In these two severe and grave sins, which are among the most serious in the Torah, the people of Israel fell just before entering the land of Israel. Thousands, descendants of those who sinned these terrible sins, and the former productive men were killed because of these horrible crimes. And because of this, the Holy One, blessed be He, did not delay the entry of the people of Israel into the land of Israel. However, all kinds of changes occurred in the settlement of the people of Israel in the land of Israel and the establishment of the state of Israel, and very serious and horrible things happened to the people of Israel because of this, were manifested because of this. Moses, our teacher, was supposed to enter Israel, and one of the reasons that he did not enter our land and was buried where he was buried is because of this matter. These terrible sins to this day continue to accuse and threaten the people of Israel. That is why Moses, our teacher, had to pass away and be buried opposite the place where the people of Israel sinned with these transgressions, so that the merit of Moses, the weight of Moses, would always protect the people of Israel from the accuser, Eliturga. There is an accuser called Baal Peor, who constantly wants to ascend to the heavens and accuse the people of Israel for that sin they committed over 3,300 years ago. Moses, our teacher, was buried opposite this place, which is called Baal Peor, in order to serve as a counterweight and to block this accuser. Two sins, the evil counsel regarding immorality and the evil counsel regarding idolatry. And this is a great principle, a profound concept from which we learn for all generations. From this we learn for all the situations a person goes through in his life that always before the Holy One, blessed be He, brings a person to rest and to his inheritance, always before a person rises to a higher level in serving God, always before a person attains something very great in his life in serving God in any area, the Holy One, blessed be He, will test him with one of these two trials, either a test of faith or a test of hardship. This is what our sages tell us. The Holy One, blessed be He, always withholds complete success from a person, and a person, by standing firm in one of these two tests, which are the most serious and complex trials, merits for himself abundance, greatness, and the high level that the Holy One, blessed be He, wants to give him. And by withstanding these tests, he attains these things. And if a person does not withstand these tests, then there are more difficulties and more delays, and this is the whole matter of Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. We know about the harsh exile that the children of Israel have been experiencing for almost 2,000 years, as the children of Israel move from country to country, from one rule to another. Very great difficulties that the children of Israel endure throughout the exiles and during the hard times they go through, and then the Messiah will come. There are two Messiahs, Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. Our sages tell us about these two Messiahs. Why are there two Messiahs, and why is there a type of redemption called the redemption of Mashiach ben Yosef, and another type called the redemption of Mashiach ben David? So our sages tell us that the reason for this is that these two Messiahs, these two figures, represent these two trials. There is, when we use the word Tzadik, which is the word that expresses perfection, the word that represents the pinnacle of virtues and all the good qualities that can exist, it's referred to as Tzadik. So, there are two Tzadikim mentioned in the Torah. There is, the righteous shall live by his faith, and there is, the righteous is the foundation of the world. The title Tzadik refers to two types. The righteous shall live by faith, and the righteous is the foundation of the world. This second title was given to Joseph the righteous, a complete person who never fails in human trials or matters of evil. He brings and hastens redemption as Mashiach ben Yosef, bringing goodness to the people of Israel. One who faces a trial of faith and withstands it without faltering, believing completely in the Holy One, blessed be He, despite all hardships. Despite all the difficulties and all the complexities, he is called the righteous shall live by his faith. He lives his faith, and this brings him to a high and very elevated place. These are two types of redemptions, just as the people of Israel, before they entered the land of Israel, experienced these two trials. The idolatry of Baal Peor, which some parts of the nation of Israel did not withstand, and the idolatry involving the daughters of Moab, which relates to evil deeds. In the same way, before the redemption, every person must undergo this trial. This is what our sages tell us, and this is what we know. Elijah the prophet, the great figure who will come to announce the redemption and bring redemption to the people of Israel. And Pinchas is Elijah. Sages say Elijah the prophet merited his form when Pinchas, son of Eleazar, killed Zimri. Then the Holy One gave him the title of Herald of Redemption, saying, "Behold, I give him my covenant of peace." What does this mean? Our sages explained that he is the one who will make peace between the children of Israel and the Holy One, blessed be he, by being the one to announce, the one to herald the redemption. We know that there is a dispute in the Gemara about where, from which tribe, from which place Elijah the prophet came. whether he was a descendant of Leah or of Rachel. There is much debate on whether he descends from the tribe of Gad or from the line of Leah, Rachel, Joseph, or Benjamin. What is the meaning of this disagreement? So many of the commentators explain that the meaning of this disagreement is about which power Elijah the prophet will come from, whether from the power of the descendants of Leah, which is the power of Judah. Judah, as we know, represents faith. King David, from whom the Messiah, son of David, will come, is about faith, trust in the Holy One, blessed be he, and cleaving to him? Or is it from the descendants of Rachel, which is Joseph the righteous, representing perfection in all matters of holiness and all spiritual matters? By which of these paths will Elijah the prophet arrive and announce the redemption? And every person is tested with these two trials, just as the children of Israel were before entering the land, as our sages tell us. Everything that the Holy One, blessed be he, does to refine a person, passing him through all kinds of trials, leading him through all sorts of doubts, is ultimately to bring him to one of these two things, either a test of faith or a test regarding hardships. If a person overcomes these trials, he is called the complete righteous one, and then he is called the exalted and lofty Tzadik, who merits all the highest and greatest virtues and things. This is the main thing, that a person should have such strong faith, not just faith that he professes with his mouth, not just actions that make him appear to be someone who goes to prayer and occasionally sets times for Torah study, but a person who manages to prove through his actions, who knows how to prove in a time of difficult trial that despite all the challenges and all the concealments that exist, he remains attached to the Holy One, blessed be he, and believes in the Holy One, blessed be he. The Toldot Yaakov Yosef, the foremost disciple of the holy Baal Shem Tov, writes in this week's Torah portion, Parashat Pinchas, that this is the entire essence of blowing the shofar. This is how he writes. It is written in the Rambam that the shofar, we are approaching the days of awe, when the main thing we do is the blowing of the shofar. We blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. This is a mitzvah from the Torah. We blow the shofar all Elul, and at the end of Yom Kippur, the central symbol of the days of awe is the shofar. Maimonides writes its blowing is a statute, a Torah decree of unknown origin, meant specifically to elevate our repentance and bring us closer to God. Maimonides suggests a hint in the matter. Awaken, you sleepers, from your sleep, and rouse yourselves, you slumberers, from your slumber. Traditionally, and even now, we use sound to wake others up. Maimonides writes that the shofar's sound acts as a hint to awaken from spiritual slumber. Just as it rouses a sleeper, its blast should stir a person from their sins and spiritual sleep, drawing them closer to the Holy One, blessed be he. The Toldot Yaakov Yosef explains this further. He writes, the Toldot Yaakov Yosef writes, what is it? Awaken, you sleepers, from your sleep. He writes, awaken, you sleepers, from your sleep. He explains that Yeshanim is a notarikon, an acronym. He says the greatest evil inclination and the greatest test people go through in this generation is that they have shnayim, meaning two. What does having two mean? They present one persona, speaking and acting a certain way, yet their heart is entirely different. This is the hardest test of the last generation. He writes, this is the hardest test, deciding Israel's exile or redemption. Will a person truly be as he appears, or have one persona for show and another truth in his heart? The shofar teaches us, awaken, you sleepers, awaken to your inner duality, being one way in speech and another in spirit. From this, awaken. From this, elevate yourselves. From this, rise up and be roused. From this, rise up and be roused and come to the place, the high place that you are meant to reach. Come to the high place that you are supposed to ascend to. What is all the work of Rosh Hashanah? What is all the work that the shofar is supposed to awaken within a person? A person must see the gap between his self-image and who he truly is when the Almighty examines his inner essence during a trial. Whether he remains consistent or changes is the main test. After learning this Toldot Yaakov Yosef teaching, we realize the shofar mitzvah's source is actually the exact opposite of this idea. What does the Toldot Yaakov Yosef write? That the main point of the mitzvah of shofar is that a person should not be one way with his mouth and another way in his heart. A person's action should be completely aligned, should be exactly equal to the person's inner self, to the person's heart. If we pay attention, the source of the mitzvah of shofar is actually the complete opposite of this. Why do we specifically blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah? Why do we specifically blow the shofar throughout the month of Elul? to remind the Holy One, blessed be He, of the binding of Isaac. The Holy One, blessed be He, the Holy One, blessed be He, commanded our father Abraham to bind Isaac and to slaughter Isaac, Jacob, our father Abraham. Our father Abraham went and was ready to withstand this test. He was prepared to go and do this thing. And then at the last moment, before the Holy One, blessed be He, before our father Abraham slaughtered Isaac, the Holy One, blessed be He, said to our father Abraham, don't do it, don't. The Holy One, blessed be He, said to our father Abraham, don't do it, don't do it, do not lay your hand, do not lay your hand, do not lay your hand on the boy. Our father Abraham stopped and did not do it, and then our father Abraham saw a ram caught in the thicket, took that ram and offered it instead of Isaac. This ram had a horn, which is essentially a shofar, and to remember those of Isaac, the ram that was offered in place of our father Isaac, that is why we blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah and throughout the days of Or. So what do we see here? God credited Abraham with a mitzvah he didn't perform simply because it was in his heart. God credited him for the deed. Conversely, the Toldot Yaakov Yosef writes, what is the mitzvah of the shofar? That a person's action should be exactly as he says, and exactly as, just as a person says, and just as a person thinks and expresses his soul in speech and thought, so too the actions and desires should be perfectly aligned. What does the shofar come to remind us of? Of the deed that is exactly not the thought. Like the thought is like the deed. The Holy One, blessed be He, considered it for Abraham, our father, as if he had actually sacrificed Isaac just because he intended to do so, even though he did not sacrifice Isaac, and Isaac lived for many more years. How does that make sense? How do these two things fit together? If a person followed the principle that their inner feelings must always be reflected in their actions, in serving the Holy One, in commandments and in good deeds, they would become very depressed. That is the nature of serving God. One has high spiritual goals and wants to reach great heights, but in practice they only achieve a fraction of them from the things he wants. So a person who says, I am a perfect servant of God, I reach lofty and high spiritual levels only if I am perfect, that every commitment I have taken upon myself, every spiritual personality I have imagined in my soul and pictured myself wanting to be, I have succeeded in implementing and achieving. Such a person would be depressed because this is impossible in serving God. You aspire to this thing, then you don't succeed, you move on to something else. That is the way of serving God. Therefore, the source of the mitzvah of the shofar is specifically from the very place that in spirituality we see as exactly the opposite. In spirituality, do not descend to a low place in your soul just because you failed to implement what you thought you should have been. Not every thought that you failed to implement means that there is something wrong with you. The whole idea of the source we are learning today, that it is forbidden to have one thing in your mouth and another in your heart, and that your thoughts must be exactly like your actions, comes from this very place where with Abraham, our forefather, we see exactly the opposite. That is how a person should be. One should not despair and should not be sad if the Holy One, blessed be He, caused him not to be able to fully realize his spiritual desires 100%. But on the other hand, he should also be honest and sincere with himself to see that he is doing his utmost and striving with all his strength so that for every spiritual desire he sets for himself, he does 100% of what is within his ability to bring that desire into action, to realize it, to implement it, and to be perfect in that matter. Regarding faith, it is a complex trial. Similarly, the lion's test is also very difficult. One can believe in the Almighty, know Him, and be close to Him in thought, but if he is not careful in these matters or fails to act, without guarding these matters, one cannot truly draw close to or see the Holy One. We know that reciting the Shema most rectifies issues of seeing. One who recites the Shema before bed with great intention merits to rectify all these matters. And where do we see this? The Gemara in Tractate Berakot says that Rabbi Yitzchak said from where? From the verse that is written. From the verse that says, the exaltation of God is in their throats and a double-edged sword in their hands. Thus it is written in the verse. The exaltation of God is in their throats. People exalt the Holy One, blessed be He, with their voices, and they hold a double-edged sword in their hands. So Rabbi Yitzchak says, anyone who recites the Shema merits to hold a double-edged sword against harmful forces. A person who recites the Shema before bed, this recitation of the Shema gives him such great strength and power that he holds a double-edged sword to harm the accusers who want to come and harm him. Seemingly, why is a double-edged sword necessary? What is the meaning of this? A person who recites the Shema specifically merits a double-edged sword. A sword that, so to speak, has two stabbing points, both in the front and in the back. What is the significance of this? Why does a person who recites the Shema specifically need these two things? And also, it's not so common that we say, our sages say, that a sword is called by the name mouth. Usually we don't find that a sword is called that way, by the name mouth. Why did our sages choose these two things? So we thought to ourselves, if we look and contemplate further, where else do we see this concept, mouths, a mouth, than in the recent Torah portions, Parashat Chukat and Parashat Balak, and Parashat Korach, Parashat Chukat and Parashat Korach, Chukat and Balak, the last three portions we've read, we find many instances where things involve a mouth. And the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says that the Holy One, blessed be He, created during the 6 days of creation, when the Holy One, blessed be He, created the entire universe. The Holy One, blessed be He, created all of creation in a complete form. And then, just before the entrance of the very first Shabbat of creation, the Holy One, blessed be He, created 3 mouths. The mouth of the donkey, the mouth of the earth, and the mouth of the well. The Holy One created 3 mouths before Shabbat. The mouth of the donkey refers to Balaam's donkey. The mouth of the donkey refers to the donkey that the wicked Balaam rode with. Balaam the wicked went to curse the people of Israel, and the donkey, which like any animal is mute and cannot speak or make a sound, began to speak to Balaam the wicked and said to him, "How can you go to curse the people of Israel?" The people of Israel are a holy nation, a people who observe the 3 pilgrimage festivals, a people who are on a very high spiritual level. How can you even think of cursing them? This is the first mouth that the Holy One, blessed be He, created at the creation of the world. The second mouth that the Holy One, blessed be He, created at the time of creation, during twilight, is the mouth of the well. The well that provided water for the Israelites was a special stone for the people of Israel, a unique stone that accompanied them throughout the 40 years they spent in the desert. This stone would bring forth water for the Israelites, and from this water the Israelites would drink and water all their livestock, and the people of Israel survived thanks to this water. This is the second mouth, the mouth of the well. The third mouth, which mouth is that? The mouth of the earth. When Korach rebelled, against Moses, our teacher, Korach rose up and slandered Moses, claiming that Moses was stealing from the Israelites and taking for himself roles that the Holy One, blessed be He, had not assigned to him, and many other terrible things that Korach and his followers accused Moses of. The Holy One, blessed be He, created the mouth of the earth, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed Korach and all that belonged to him, and everything that was with them, into the ground. These are the 3 mouths that we find exist in the world. Let's pause for a moment and ask, why did the Holy One, blessed be He, make it so that specifically these things were created in a miraculous way? And why did all these things come to the people of Israel in such a miraculous manner? Why did a rock need to provide water for Israel? Couldn't God have simply sent rain from the heavens wherever they walked in the desert for them to drink? Why did the water have to come from a rock? Just as God brought manna from the heavens for Israel, water should have also come from the heavens. Why did God choose a lowly donkey to speak for Israel? Why not another animal? A donkey is among the humblest creatures. Couldn't God have had a lion appear in the desert and speak instead? Balaam the wicked, and tell him that he cannot go to curse the people of Israel. And why was it specifically Korach who was punished by this thing called the mouth of the earth? So if we look and reflect, all our sages tell us that the time when the people of Israel walked in the desert, the entire 40 years that the people of Israel wandered in the desert, was a period of transformation in the soul of the people of Israel. The people of Israel needed to receive the Torah. The Torah is the most sublime thing, the holiest thing, the most exalted thing, and the Holy One, blessed be He, saw that the people of Israel in their current human state could not receive the Torah. The Torah is such a sublime and exalted thing that an ordinary person, a human being of flesh and blood, with his personality and his character traits, cannot merit the Torah, which is something so lofty and transcendent. Only the people of Israel, who are unique in every aspect, and in every detail within them. And even their bodies are holy. They merited this great elevation, and they were privileged to receive the Torah. So the Holy One, blessed be He, wanted to bring the people of Israel to the greatest refinement, to remove the greatest amount of physicality from their bodies, from everything connected to them. That is why He gave them everything. That is why He gave them everything in a supernatural way. The Holy One, blessed be He, provided the people of Israel with manna, which is a supernatural food, the food of angels, so that their bodies, which normally become more physical and usually draw their strength from food, would become less material, less physical, and would be elevated and become holier. This is the journey God led Israel on. Why then did God give water to the people of Israel from a rock and not otherwise? The place from which you would least expect water to come is a rock. The Holy One could have brought water from a tree. After all, a tree is an inanimate object. But the thing is, we know that in the roots and the trunk of a tree, there is natural moisture. Soil too, usually it is dry, but there are places where if you dig into the ground, you find water. However, the place where you would least expect to find water is from stones. Water is the element of desire. That is why God drew water for Israel to drink from the stones. Why? In order to nullify from them all matters of desire and all such things. Dispute, as we also know, is something that arises from desire, and dispute is also something that comes from a person who is flawed in matters of holiness. It is often said that when a person speaks against the righteous or the holy, it shows they are spiritually flawed. The same applies to those unable to speak or call out to the Holy One, blessed be He. What is the reason that a person prays and does not feel connected to the prayer? Because his holiness and spiritual matters are incomplete. One who recites the Shema and sanctifies himself merits this. God's praise fills their throats, a double-edged sword in their hands. What does God's praise in their throats mean? How did the Almighty enable a physical being immersed in materiality to also call out to Him? The donkey spoke to the Lord, praising Him and saying, how can you harm a nation that serves the Lord and ascends 3 times a year to greet Him? This is the exaltation of God in their throats. A person who recites the Shema and corrects himself just as a donkey, which is materialistic, and the Aton is actually a type of donkey, he reached a state where he exalts and praises the Holy One, blessed be He. In the same way, a person who repents from his sins can reach a state where he exalts the Holy One, blessed be He. And a double-edged sword in their hands, just as the Holy One, blessed be He, through the 2 mouths, the mouth of the well and the mouth of the earth, corrected the people of Israel from all matters of desire and from the issue of discord that was among them. So too, a person who corrects himself in every generation can merit this rectification. If he recites the Shema with intention, if he corrects himself from all the difficult things, he can merit this as well. And how does a person truly know in which matter the evil inclination is always fighting against him? As we said, a person just needs to know this, that right before he merits the great revelation, right before he receives the tremendous illumination of the divine presence from the Holy One, blessed be He, right before he attains the greatest things, the Holy One, blessed be He, always tests a person with the most severe, complex, and difficult trials. How can a person know what test the Holy One, blessed be He, is putting him through? What is the challenge that the Holy One, blessed be He, is placing before him? What is the matter that right now the Holy One, blessed be He, is concerned with? It causes him to confront it, because if a person knows, right now I am being tested, and if I pass this test, I will merit something great, I will attain something lofty and special, then even if it is the hardest and most complex test, he will get through it. He will know how to withstand it. A person who is going through tremendous suffering and is told, this month is the last month of your suffering, this very day. This is when the last day of your suffering finally comes. For a person of heritage, everything is done to help alleviate this pain, as they believe everything is much more when helping to end this suffering. While a person who does not adore helping others finds this burden to be unbearable. Those who truly care will always strive to find a way to help you through it. What is the Holy One, blessed be He, testing him with? So we wrote in the book and said once a very important principle on this matter that every person needs to know and apply. During the period when the children of Israel were in the desert, which is actually the most important period, the period we read about almost every Shabbat in the Torah portions, this was essentially the foundational period, the time that served as the blueprint for the children of Israel and determined the way the children of Israel would conduct themselves, how they would be throughout all generations. So the way the children of Israel sat in the desert was in a very specific manner. In the center of the desert, positioned directly in the very heart and center of the entire camp, was the sacred temple, known as the tabernacle. At the absolute center of the vast encampment stood the tabernacle, and all the tribes of Israel were carefully positioned to camp in every direction around it. The supreme quality of holiness belonged exclusively to the tabernacle itself, and every single aspect of the camp's layout was arranged conditionally and purposefully around the tabernacle, as it served as the primary spiritual focal point and the dwelling place of the divine presence for the whole nation. And thus the verse there is fulfilled, and I shall be sanctified among the children of Israel. Outside of this, there are the Levites, who are the tribe that serves the Holy One. Blessed be He. They are the tribe that works for God. They are the tribe that is close to God. They merit to camp around the tabernacle. And after them, further out, sit all the Israelites, 600,000 men and more, which refers to the men of Israel and the women and children and everyone else they sat outside of them. The camp of the divine presence, the camp of the Levites, and the camp of Israel. because these camps were sanctified and because there was so much closeness to God in that generation, if a person became impure with a certain type of impurity, he had to leave the camps. But each impurity was defined differently, and each impurity caused a person to be expelled from a different camp. If a person was impure with the impurity of a metzora, if a person was impure with the impurity of tzara'at, which is one of the impurities that existed, one of the impurities that existed during the time of the temple, the Gemara and Tractate Berakot deals with the question of whether these are prohibitions of love. Okay, so Dave, they were there in Israel, successfully discussing the chapters you bring regarding the sanctity of Israel. At that time, people didn't remember the prohibitions of Zara'at, which presents in all sorts of ways. If a person was afflicted with Zara'at, he had to leave all the camps. Whether a person is in the camp of holiness, the camp of the Levites, or the camp of the Israelites, from all these camps, a Metzora must be sent out. A person who is in the camp of the Israelites must leave. That grows in a person's pit, a person afflicted with Zara'at must leave the camp of Israel, go out to the desert, sit in the wilderness. A person who became impure with this particular impurity, which is also a very severe impurity, must leave the camp of the Levites. Anywhere the Levites dwell, it is forbidden to be in that place. He must go out to the camp of Israel. A person who became impure with the impurity of Ziva must leave the camp of the Levites and go to the camp of the Israelites. In the camp of the Levites where he lives, a Levite who became impure with this impurity cannot remain with the Levites. He must go out to the camp of Israel. That's how it is. A person in the tabernacle, a person who is in the holy place, if he is impure with impurity of the dead, he must leave. He will have to go out from the camp of the Levites. That is the rule. In the tabernacle, if he is impure, he must be taught. This is the order. Severe impurity requiring removal, allowing one to leave or transfer out. To leave this holy place as one disqualified and poor, to the place of the children of Israel. This is the impurity of Azav, the impurity of Azava. This is the impurity that causes the Levites or anyone in the camp of the Levites to leave for the camp of the children of Israel. And a person who is always in a state of impurity, a Metzora, must leave the camp of the children of Israel and go outside. He must go out into the desert to sit in the desert. What does this teach us? What does this tell us? We often struggle to understand many laws in the Torah. Despite our efforts to connect these complex ideas, they can seem quite confusing and disconnected. These issues that are discussed, if there is leprosy, what kind of leprosy causes a person to leave the camp, and what kind of leprosy does not cause a person to leave the camp? Which impurity causes someone to leave the tabernacle, and which impurity does not cause someone to leave the tabernacle? By the way, a huge part, tens of percent of the Torah and the laws actually deal with these topics and these matters. What does this teach us? What does this tell us? And not for nothing. It's not for nothing. If a Levite must leave his family and the holy place due to the impurity of Azav, then the evil inclination is fighting that specific impurity. Since Halakha sends him to the Israelite camp, his rectification lies there. The evil inclination always fights us where we advance, suggesting a specific Torah-related hint here. As the author of Ilulei Ircha notes, the law addresses the most complex and seemingly irrelevant laws. He interprets them seemingly, and we think there's nothing for us to learn from them for our daily lives, for the actions we do, but he interprets them for the life of every person and for the actions of each and every individual, and shows that in fact every part of the Torah, every matter in the Torah is relevant to every single person. The Vilna Gaon writes in his commentary on the book of Proverbs, it's written explicitly in a verse from Proverbs. Can someone read it for us? Verse 10 in the book of Proverbs. It is written specifically in the verses. No, please understand, it is not found in the chapters, but rather deep within the verses. It clearly states the following: "For I will surely establish a great and terrible fear for the one known as Gorgon." Yes, it is there in the verses, truly within the sacred verses. This was spoken by something. It was spoken by Sefsem. Indeed, it was the one called Sefsem. It is written in Proverbs, "For they shall be an ornament of grace unto your head, and chains about your neck." What does this mean? So what King Solomon says in Proverbs is that there was a kind of special ornament, a kind of special thing that was placed on a person's head and chains about your neck. There was a certain ornament that was placed on the necks of the women, the daughters of Israel. There are two types of ornaments. One ornament was a kind of, like some kind of special hat, like something made of gold and silver that women would wear on their heads. And there was a second type of ornament that women would wear, which was a kind of ornament that went around the neck. And there was a difference. The ornament that was on the head, this was a type of ornament, a single piece of silver that was worn on the head, like Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva said to his wife that he would make her a Jerusalem of gold. What is this Jerusalem of gold? It is a tiara made of silver and a tiara made of gold, on which was engraved in a decorative way the entire structure and all the buildings of Jerusalem. This was the ornament that in those days was worn on the head. And what did they wear on the neck? It was like a necklace upon a necklace, like a row of necklaces, one on top of the other, that actually covered the whole area of the throat, layer upon layer upon layer. And in this way, it would surround the entire neck. So the throat, he writes. So actually we see here that on the head there was something that was a single piece, one plate, and on the neck there was actually an ornament made up of many, many types of jewelry that were connected together. So that's how the Gaga necklace is described. He writes, Art ATT create a box. Galmavina writes that the mitzvah we fulfill with our head is the mitzvah of thought. Which mitzvah is this? It is Torah study. Studying, delving into it, and meditating on the Torah is a mitzvah fulfilled with a person's intellect and mind. But what about the practical mitzvot of the other tribes? Tefillin. All the practical mitzvot are received and fulfilled with the hands. As the Vilna Gaon writes, the mitzvah of Torah study is essentially a mitzvah of conversation. The ornament we wear on our head, just as people wear jewelry, is the Torah. It is one single thing. There is no moment or part of the Torah that is not relevant to another matter, as the entire Torah is interconnected. The laws of purity and impurity are connected to the laws of blessings, and the laws of blessings are connected to the laws of Shabbat. But when it comes to studying Torah, a person is never separated from the Holy Torah, and there are no parts of the Torah that are irrelevant to other parts. This is what the Vilna Gaon writes. Just as with people, the jewelry on the body is made up of separate pieces, but the ornament on the head is a single piece. So too with the people of Israel, the Torah, which is our crown, is one unified thing. Beneath it lies, in an equal and uniform manner, all of reality and everything that exists in life. The commandments we fulfill with our hands, the actions, we need to examine which are relevant, which are not, what is worth doing now, and what is not worth doing now. So even those commandments that seem unrelated to us are in fact very much connected and closely tied to us. If we pay attention, let's start with the camp of the Shekinah. The Torah says that a person, let's start from the outer camp, the camp of the children of Israel. All the children of Israel, as we said, had the camp of the Shekinah in the center. Outside of it was the camp of the Levites, where the Levites would sit, and beyond that was the camp of the children of Israel, where all the Israelites would sit in that area, one outside the other. Where all the children of Israel would sit, if a person became impure with the impurity of tzara'at, he would have to leave that place and go outside. So what exactly is the impurity of tzara'at? Our sages told us that the impurity of tzara'at comes as a result of speaking lashon hara, evil speech. A person who speaks lashon hara, the punishment that the Holy One, blessed be He, gives him, the affliction that God gives him, is tzara'at. That's how it used to be, but today this no longer exists. A person who speaks lashon hara, we don't see tzara'at breaking out on him, but we saw a few years ago that the Chida, a student of the author of Or HaChaim HaKadosh, writes that even though there is no tzara'at, a person who speaks lashon hara, even though he is not imprisoned and does not suffer the physical harm of tzara'at on his body, there is a kind of psychological tzara'at that affects the person. And he writes that this is why some people experience depression and people experience sadness, and people go through all kinds of very deep psychological lows. Why does he write this? So he writes that just as if a person would break out, just as when a person would break out in leprosy on their body, it would itch, it would be uncomfortable, and it would be unpleasant for them, so too, when a person speaks lashon hara, gossip or slander, in the times of the temple, leprosy would appear on their body, and it would be unpleasant for them physically. But in our times, when the body has become more material, and these things are not visible on the body, a kind of leprosy grows in a person's soul, and he does not feel comfortable in his soul. He feels shame within himself, he feels a lack of self-confidence, he feels a lack of desire and a lack of motivation to move forward. This is because he spoke negatively about others, and this caused and gave rise to a kind of leprosy in his soul. This is how the Chida writes. So essentially, a person who is in the camp of Israel, if he is afflicted with leprosy, he is sent out to the desert. What does this actually mean for us? What exactly is the camp of the children of Israel? People whose only merit is that they are Jews. That is their virtue. They are not in the Mishkan, they are not connected to the Mishkan, they are not connected to holiness. They are not with the Levites, who are people on a very high spiritual level, people who invest a lot in fulfilling commandments, people who study a lot of Torah. He is not there. His only merit is being a Jew and a son of Israel. How will the evil inclination most try to fight him? What will the evil inclination try to fight him with and try to make him sin? With matters of division of hearts, with matters of gossip, with matters of hating another person, with matters of speaking against another person. Why? Because the entire foundation that connects a person to the Holy One, blessed be He, if he does not observe the commandments as he should, if he does not study Torah as he should, is the love of Israel. This is what our sages have taught us. That a person who has spiritual virtues, a person who serves the Holy One, blessed be He, through the commandments, a person who has Torah, a person who possesses all these things, he merits being close to the Holy One, blessed be He. But a person who does not have these things, what then still sustains him? What after all gives him the power to exist? It is that he loves other Jews, that he respects other Jews, that he is at peace with other Jews. This is the thing, the peace, love, and brotherhood he has with other Jews that sustains him and gives him strength and vitality if he does not receive his vitality and strength from holiness and from the commandments. And what does this actually mean? That if a person is in such a situation where the only merit he has is that he is a Jew, he does not observe the commandments as he should, he does not study Torah as he should, then it is by virtue of this alone that he exists and merits all these things. All he has in his life is that he is a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In such a way, at such a time, in such a situation, that a person finds himself, what is the main creation within a person? Matters of loving your fellow Jew, speaking against others, hurting others, insulting others. This is the issue that the evil inclination fights within a person. Why? Because the evil inclination is very focused. He doesn't waste his time fighting over things that won't harm a person. He always checks from where does a person draw his abundance, what merit causes the Holy One, blessed be He, to give this person abundance, and it is precisely in this matter that the evil inclination strikes. What is the thing that the Jewish person relies on when he has no mitzvot, no Torah, and none of the merits? Love of Israel, the fact that he is part of the people of Israel. If he doesn't have that, he is completely cut off from the branch on which he sits and falls entirely. How is it that there is no person found in the camp? A son of the children of Israel, whose only merit is that he is from the children of Israel. What will the evil inclination try to fight him with? With what impurity will the evil inclination, the defiling force, defile him in matters of love of Israel? What does tzara'at come for? For lashon hara, for speaking against Jews. A person who speaks against Jews, what does that mean? The only ground that still keeps him alive, the only thing that still brings him abundance, is that he is in love and fellowship with other Jews. If he speaks lashon hara about other Jews, he loses all his roots and all his closeness to the Holy One, blessed be He. Even a student who comes to the Hilula, the Chida writes that if we pay attention, the entire time we are asking the Holy One, blessed be He, for things, and the time when we dedicate ourselves and hope that the Holy One, blessed be He, will give us things and we pray to Him, is during the Amidah prayer. In the Amidah prayer, we stand before the Holy One, blessed be He, and ask Him for all our requests. We address the Holy One, blessed be He, as our God, our Redeemer, and many other titles. We address Him with these titles in the Amidah prayer. There are only two blessings in which we address the Holy One, blessed be He, with the title, Our Father, Abba. In all other places, we address the Holy One, blessed be He, as King. As God, by the name of Hashem, the only two blessings, the only two requests in which we address the Holy One, blessed be He, with the title, Father, are in these two blessings. Return us, our Father, to your Torah, and forgive us, our Father, for we have sinned. When we ask for knowledge, we do not say, Our Father, grant us knowledge. We do not say that. When we give thanks to the Holy One, blessed be He, we do not say, we give thanks before you, our Father. We say, we give thanks before you, Hashem, our God. Why is it that only in these two blessings do we say, Our Father? So he writes, the Qaeda writes, that all the forgiveness the Holy One, blessed be He, grants a person for his sins is because he is a child of the Holy One, blessed be He. Why does the Holy One, blessed be He, forgive a person for the sins he has committed? A person has sinned against the Holy One, blessed be He. A person has committed transgressions against the Holy One, blessed be He. If a servant sins against the king does not forgive him, the king dismisses him. That king would execute him. So why does the Holy One, blessed be He, even though He is our King, still forgive us? Because He is also our Father. The mercy that the Holy One, blessed be He, has for us when we sin, when we are not on a high spiritual level, is for one reason only, because we are children of the Holy One, blessed be He. So the Cheetah writes, if you are a child of the Holy One, blessed be He. That means that another Jew is also a child of the Holy One, blessed be He. And if you dare to harm another Jew, if you dare to hurt another Jew, what does that mean? That you do not acknowledge that he is a child of the Holy One, blessed be He. If you do not acknowledge that he is a child of the Holy One, blessed be He. Because if he were a child of the Holy One, blessed be He, you would not harm him. Then how can you as a child come and ask forgiveness from the Holy One, blessed be He? How can you as a child come and ask pardon from the Holy One, blessed be He? The Holy One, blessed be He, will not forgive you. The Holy One, blessed be He, forgives a Jew. The Holy One, blessed be He, forgives a Jew only because the Jew is his child. If a person goes and harms another Jew, then he is showing that the people of Israel, Jews, are not children of the Holy One, blessed be He. A person does not go and harm Jews. A person who is a child of the Holy One, blessed be He. Truly, when someone is respected, when someone is needed, a person does not harm him or cause him damage. So when a person goes and harms or damages another Jew, that is what proves that he does not think he is a child of the Holy One, blessed be He. He thinks he is not a child of the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Holy One, blessed be He, will not accept his repentance. Therefore, in the blessings of the Amidah prayer, in the prayers of the Amidah that are related to repentance, we mention the word Father. Why? To remind us on what does our repentance depend? On the fact that the Holy One, blessed be He, is our Father. And what justifies this, seals it, and shows that it is true that the Holy One, blessed be He, is our Father, is the fact that we love other Jews, that we respect Jews. It is essential that we truly love other Jews and that we deeply respect all other Jews. So Jews whose foundation, the only thing they stand on is the love of Israel, this is what the evil inclination will try to fight against them with. To move forward, to look ahead, there is the Levite camp. What is the Levite camp? A place where the Levites are found. Who are the Levites? How are those who are connected to the Almighty actually joined to Him? Through Torah. What is the role of the Levites? The main role of the Levites was to teach Torah to the people of Israel. To go and teach Torah to the people of Israel. The study of Torah is a supreme value. It is something holy, something lofty. Nothing compares to the power, to the significance of Torah study. A person who merits to study Torah, a person who merits to sit in the house of God and learn, each according to his ability, even 1 hour a day. One person studies an hour a day, another studies 10 hours a day, each according to his ability. A person who truly, seriously, and diligently, as a main and important goal in his life, invests in Torah study. Why does the evil inclination fight against him? Why does the evil inclination try to make him sin? What did we say? The impurity of gold. What is the impurity of gold? The impurity of gold is something that a person becomes impure with because of excessive desire. A person who is very lustful, a person who craves many things, a person who is not in holiness. Impure with Zav, this shows how the evil inclination fights a Torah scholar in this matter of impurity, in this matter of holiness, in this matter of sins and forbidden relationships and all kinds of forbidden thoughts. A person who studies Torah, a person who invests in Torah, this is the area in which the evil inclination will try to fight him. This is what we see. Someone who is in the camp of the Levites, what is the evil inclination that fights in this place? What is the impurity that they try from the evil inclination tries to defile him in this place with the impurity of gold, with the impurity of bad thoughts, with the impurity of forbidden thoughts, with all this impurity. What is the solution for this person? What does the Holy One, blessed be He, tell this person to do? To leave the camp of the Levites and go to the camp of Israel. To go out to the camp of Israel. He cannot remain in the camp of the Levites. He needs to go out to the camp of Israel. What does it mean to go out to the camp of Israel? Let me look. There are people who study Torah and they observe the Torah in the most meticulous way. The thoughts they have, the doubts they have, the desires they have, what are these really? Not living according to the standards of the Torah, not living as the Torah recommends, not living in the way the Torah says and emphasizes that Jewish life should be. What is the remedy for such a person? When the Holy One, blessed be He, says that someone who is impure must leave a certain place, it's not just so that he leaves and is punished in that place, not at all. It's so that the person learns something. It's so that a person understands something, so that a person gains new insights. What are the insights a person is supposed to gain outside in the camp of the children of Israel? A person who desires these things, a person who wants things that the Torah forbids, all he needs to do is go out and see what life looks like without these boundaries. A person who goes out and sees what life is like without these boundaries comes to understand how life that isn't according to the Torah, how life that isn't according to the laws of the Torah is harmful and not good and is in a way that it causes the greatest losses to a person. Someone in the holy camp, the tabernacle, what defilement occurs here? Death-related impurity, tumat met. What does impurity of the dead mean? What is the matter of impurity of the dead? So as we have explained and said at length several times, impurity of the dead symbolizes and alludes to sadness. We have elaborated on this in several places. A person can see this automatically. At funerals, everyone cries. Whenever people are near a dead person, there are tears, sighs, and great sorrow. Very great. What do we see? That a person who is on a spiritual high, at the greatest and most sublime level of holiness, what is the evil inclination that fights him? The matter of sadness. The matter of sadness, the matter of depression, of what am I worth, of worthlessness. A person who experiences a death, someone who is close and has learned, feels that nothing in the world is worth anything. Nothing in the world is worth it. It's not worth investing in anything. It's not worth trying to achieve anything at all. After all, in the end, everything passes anyway, and in the end, everything is over anyway. The evil inclination, how does it try to fight a person when he is in the place closest to holiness, at the highest spiritual level in these matters? These are the evil inclinations that fight every single person. And a person needs to be wise and know that at every stage of his life, the evil inclination fights him in a different matter, in a different issue, and to be wise, to be insightful, to be clear-headed, to anticipate evil and defend himself against the evil inclinations. With God's help, in the merit of the Holy Or HaChaim, may the Holy One, blessed be He, protect and save us. And may He save everyone present here, all the people of Israel. May the honor of our teacher and rabbi be with health and life, and then may He show you, together with His kingdom, joy, blessing, success, and all that is good.